I woke up to the sound of birds chirping outside my window. Sunlight streamed in, casting a warm glow across my apartment. The air smelled of coffee, though I didn't remember making any. It was just another morning. I rolled out of bed, stretched, and wandered into the kitchen. My coffee machine was already on, a fresh cup sitting there, waiting for me. Something about that felt off. I didn't remember setting a timer. Brushing it off, I grabbed the mug and took a sip. The taste was perfect, rich, smooth, exactly how I liked it. But as I drank, a weird chill ran down my spine. There was something too perfect about this moment. The way the light hit the countertops, the way the clock's second hand ticked with mathematical precision, the way my coffee was the exact temperature I preferred. It felt scripted. I shook off the feeling and grabbed my phone. No messages, no notifications, no Wi-Fi signal. I frowned. That was strange. My internet had never gone down before. I checked my settings, restarted my phone. Nothing. Then I noticed the date, March 15th, 2042. That didn't seem right. The last date I remembered was March 12th. I checked the fridge calendar. March 15th. I turned on the TV. The news was playing headlines, scrolling, anchors talking. But when I tried to focus on the words, they blurred together, like the details hadn't been fully rendered, like the world was buffering. A cold knot formed in my stomach. Something was wrong. I left my apartment and stepped onto the street. The city was the same as always, bustling, filled with people, cars honking, neon signs flickering in the distance. And yet, something felt different. People walked in perfect synchronization. A man checking his watch did it with the exact same motion as another man down the street. A woman on her phone laughed at something, but there was no emotion behind it. It was like watching actors performing a scene. Badly. I took a deep breath, trying to calm myself. Maybe I was just tired. Maybe I had been working too much. Or maybe I hadn't woken up at all. I turned the corner and saw it, a glowing panel on the side of a building. Something about it called to me. I stepped closer. It was a digital interface, like a sleek black touchscreen. There was no label, no branding, just a single button in the center. Exit. I stared at it, my heart pounding. Exit? Exit from what? I reached out and pressed it. The world glitched. The entire street flickered, like a corrupted video file. The buildings shimmered, warping in and out of focus. The people froze, their faces going blank. Then, everything snapped back to normal. I stumbled backward, breathing hard. No one reacted. No one seemed to notice what had just happened. But now I knew. This wasn't real. I wasn't awake. I was still inside the simulation. And the worst part, I didn't remember ever putting on a headset. I stood there, staring at the exit button. The city around me had returned to normal, if I could even call it that. People were moving again, but now I could see it. The subtle loops in their behavior. The way the same car drove past me twice in the same minute. The same laughter from different mouths. This was a scripted reality, and I had almost broken through. I turned back to the glowing panel, but the button was gone. The screen was blank, smooth, like nothing had ever been there. A chill crept up my spine. Okay, I whispered. Think. If this was a simulation, there had to be a way out. The problem was I didn't remember logging in. I didn't remember ever putting on a headset. So, what if I had never left? The thought made my stomach twist. I needed to find someone. Anyone who could tell me what was going on. So I ran. I pushed through the crowd, ignoring the robotic pleasantries of strangers. I needed to find someone real. I turned into a coffee shop, one I visited almost every day. The barista, Emily, stood behind the counter, smiling. "Hey, good morning," she chirped. "Emily," I said, my voice shaky. "What's today's date?" Her smile didn't change. "March 15th, of course." "What was yesterday's date?" She blinked, once, twice, her head tilted slightly, like she was trying to process the question. "Why? Today is March 15th, she repeated, her voice identical. A cold rush of fear shot through me. "Emily," I said slowly, "have you ever seen me before?" Her smile didn't waver. "Of course, you come in all the time." "What's my name?" Silence. Her mouth opened slightly like she was about to answer, but no sound came out. Her eyes twitched, her fingers curling slightly on the counter. Then, suddenly, "Of course, you come in all the time." The exact same words, the exact same tone. My hands went cold. I backed away. The other customers were watching me now. Not moving, not blinking, like they were waiting to see what I would do next. I ran. I didn't know where I was going, but as I turned onto a side street, I noticed something I hadn't before. A gap between two buildings, a narrow alleyway, dark and unlit, and at the very end, a door. I don't know why I ran toward it. I just knew. It was the first thing that looked out of place. The closer I got, the more I felt it. A pressure, a presence, like something was watching me. I grabbed the handle and the world shattered. I wasn't standing in an alleyway anymore. I was in a white room. Bright, sterile, empty. No door behind me. No exit. Just a chair and a man sitting in it. He looked exactly like me. "Well," he said, leaning back. "Took you long enough." My mouth went dry. "Who are you?" I whispered. "I'm you," he said. "Or at least, I was, before you." I shook my head. No, this wasn't possible. "I don't understand." "Of course you don't," he said, rubbing his temple. "That's the point." He sighed, then gestured around us. "How long have you been here?" I swallowed. "I don't know." "Exactly." The walls flickered for just a second. I saw something else underneath them. Not walls, code, data. I started again, but he cut me off. "Let me guess, you don't remember logging in." I felt like the ground was falling away beneath me. "You don't remember how you got here," he continued. "You don't remember what's real." I clenched my fists. "Then tell me," I said. "Tell me what's real." He smirked. "You really don't get it, do you?" He leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees. His face was calm, almost amused. There was never an exit. My chest tightened. "What?" "You don't remember putting on a headset," he said. "Because you never did." The world around us flickered again. "You don't remember logging in, because you were never outside." The room fractured just for a second, and I saw it. The real world. A dark, lifeless room. My body sitting in a chair. A headset strapped to my skull. A timer flashing on the screen. Total time in simulation. 14 years, 6 months, 22 days. I gasped, stumbling back. The man who looked like me just smiled. "You were never supposed to wake up." Everything collapsed. And then I woke up. Again. I opened my eyes. I was sitting in my apartment. Sunlight streamed through the window. The smell of coffee filled the air. It was just another morning. The TV was on, scrolling through headlines. The second hand on the clock ticked perfectly. I checked my phone. No messages, no notifications, no Wi-Fi signal. I took a deep breath. And then I saw it, a glowing exit button on the wall. Waiting for me to press it, I reached out and hesitated. Because now I wasn't sure what was worse, staying trapped inside a fake reality or waking up to the real one. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps bring more thrilling sci-fi horror stories to life. What do you think really happened? Was there ever an escape? Or has he been trapped all along? Share your thoughts in the comments. Would you like to hear more stories like this? Let me know what kind of worlds and mysteries you'd like to explore next. Thank you for watching. Until next time.